much for coming to what will be an informational seminar co-hosted by EACF and METS, EACF, the Egyptian American Community Foundation, and METS, the Middle Eastern Turkic Society.
First, I would like to welcome you all to our first joint event with the Middle Eastern Turkic Society. And I would like to thank all our members that tried to put this event together.
A few words about METS. It's about bridging with the community, law enforcement and community together. And it's a very important concept. The great thing about METS is we're not based on religion. We're based on regions, we're based on customs, and we understand it. So we're going to bring everyone together. So whether it be the Muslim community, the Christian community, the Orthodox community, the Coptic community, it's an interfaith process, just like the doctor had stated, and that's what we're behind. We're behind helping the community, being there for the community, going out, setting up events like this where we can have a commanding officer from hate crimes come out and talk to you and explain to you the methods that are being approached by the New York City Police Department, coming out, maybe doing something on internet safety or gangs for your children, whatever it might be, liaison with the Department of Education, liaison with the Department of Aging if you have an elderly person. Whatever it takes, we're there to help.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Egyptian American Community Foundation, and thank you, Middle Eastern Turkic Society, for inviting me to this event. It is my pleasure to be here. Now, the reason why hate crimes are so important in society is because they do have a tremendous effect on victims. Not that other crimes don't, but they have a much more serious effect. They infect entire groups. There's a concept known as group victimization, where many people, thousands of people, can be victimized by one incident. You know, people, now someone's right of identity predictability is disrupted. They no longer want to travel to that mosque or travel to that synagogue or walk down that particular street. So their lives are disrupted. You know, that kind of information we all know, you know, is the topic of conversations when we go to mosque, when we go to temple, when we go to church, you know, there was a hate crime that occurred here. So they have a tremendous effect, and they remain to have a lasting effect on the victims, where it is often something that, you know, is not easily overcome, and people need to, you know, to go to therapy and to speak to professionals, and it's a traumatic event in one's life that's not, you know, not something to easily get past. So that's why they are so significant.
Any kind of crime we are experiencing now, should not be colored by any color or by any religion. Crime will remain always as a human crime, because what's been committing the crime was always a person like me and you, has no color. There is no issue of color or religion. We choose to have our response to this type of hate speeches sometimes for some politicians to make more love in our community. They've been approaching me to make a demonstration by the building of somebody who's been known to make some kind of ugly statement, which is not part of the beauty of America. So we choose to receive the Hanukkah for the first time in the history in a mosque in Midtown Manhattan, and you can check this on the line. We've been hosting the Hanukkah celebration just 3 months ago in our Islamic Society of Mid-Manhattan in the mid of New York. That's why I'm telling you, we should make it here. If we cannot make it anywhere in the world, we should make it here in New York. And we will continue to love one another and to spread love. For myself, as somebody who's occupying such a position, I promise to make the work of Mr. Magrone much easier because of our work in the mosque and everywhere else. And I'm inviting everyone in his position to spread more love, because this would be the best element of the betterment of American society and all the places. The energy of love is not just affecting the life here, it will affect the whole planet. Trust me, sometimes you should not underestimate things. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy more and more for this beautiful organization to have such a successful event like this. Thank you, Dr. Maksoud. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, DA. And thank you, this brilliant, beautiful, handsome young officer, Murad. Thank you.
I'm going to start off by talking about certain crimes that will definitely, without any exception, prevent you from getting your citizenship. Don't kill anybody, because you won't be given your U.S. citizenship. Aggravated felonies. Now, this is a term that immigration uses quite often dealing with the major crimes. If you have not been paying your taxes as a green card holder, the IRS is now working with the immigration, and they will find out. So even though you go to your naturalization interview and you pass it, you will not get a passport.
We started in 2003, and I can tell you that tonight is one of our best nights ever. We really appreciate the great panel we had tonight. I want to start by saying one thing. We, as New Yorker, want to make sure that our law enforcement know that we really truly appreciate your sacrifices and all the work you do to keep us New Yorkers safe. Thank you very much. With that said, I want to thank our spiritual leader, Sheikh Ahmed Dwidar. He's always been there for us, our friends from the Egyptian consulate, their family, to all of us as well. I'm very proud of our partnership with METS under Inspector Amin Qasim, who's a friend, and Sergeant Murad, and Joseph, and all of you. Yeah, our partnership really had made a difference, and appreciate all the work you do for our community.
And this is the way, Dr. Hassam, I'm trying to calm down the situation. But trust me, we have worse than that sometimes when you see tremendously and repeatedly in a Fox News or something, when they hear that Sheikh Ahmed Dwidar in Midtown Manhattan Mosque was hosting a Hanukkah and Passover, nobody knows about it.
We see younger people, the ignorance and the education is getting higher, well, the education is getting lower, the education is getting higher, and they're understanding that there's nothing to be afraid of. Different communities can work together in a positive way.
How do you, what's the mechanism? How do you get to know a hate crime happened? Is it through the community?
Well, it is through that.
Leaders of community? Through police officers? How do you
That's
get
a great question. And 90% of the time, it is from the response process. So the patrol officer arrives on the scene, an incident happens, and that patrol officer alerts their supervisor, and it goes up to the captain or above. And that's generally how
they decide to involve you at a certain stage.
Well, the captain has only those two obligations that I spoke about. They can either make it possible or non-biased. So either way, we're alerted to it.
I'm Murad. I'm second vice president of the Middle Eastern Turkish Society. We work well with EACF, law enforcement along with civilians, coming together, creating this symbiotic relationship. You said, how do we counteract and counter-proliferate this negativity of the media, correct? And what?
I mean, how do we basically hold them responsible? Sometimes
Well,
you can write
there's
a
no-
letter to the paper, but it might not get published.
Well, it's not about held responsibility. It's about the message that you want to deliver. So if they're delivering a certain message, you would like to counter that. And the way we counter that is we're getting together in events like this today. We get together, we go in front of a camera and say, we are Middle Eastern, we are Arab Americans, like the video you saw in the beginning of this event today. From different careers, we all sit down together and collaboratively come up with a strategic idea. How do we positively affect our image as Middle Easterns, as Muslims, Christians, that we all work together, and together we're able to coalesce. And that's the message that we're here to send today.
And then we have a lot of trustees as well as members, uniform, so thank you all for coming out.
Hi, Amin. We just had a wonderful collaboration this evening, and I just would love for you to give us some reflective feedback on your experience tonight.
Well, I think this was a great first step on bridging the community with law enforcement to be able to educate and teach people certain things regarding rights and responsibilities with the police, things about hate crimes, and ways to get involved in your community. We need to bridge the gap. We need to make people feel comfortable within the police, because the police are the public and the public are the police. And we hope over time to bridge that gap, to provide that education, and to make all one. Thank you.
It was exceptionally important, and it came on the right time. We need such events, and thank you very much from the bottom of my heart that you allow us and give us this such opportunity to come and to speak and to spread love. We call it mahabba in Arabic, in the community. It's very much needed, and thank you again and again, and thank you for enlightening us with some kind of beautiful collective panelist here. Somebody who representing the NYPD, somebody representing the aspect legal of it, and somebody who's very poor like me, have lousy accent like myself, to speak about some spirituality.
Hossam, first of all, I want to thank you so much for inspiring us to get together this evening. And as we close out the evening, can you give us some reflections on how you felt this evening went?
I think it was one of our best events, as I said in my closing words. Since 2003, we did so many events, but today was very informative, very educational. We value our partnership with METS. I think they added a lot to our mission, and I look forward to do much more.
It was a wonderful event. I'm glad that I'm part of EACF. I think it's very important that we have lectures like this and information to relate to the community so that people are informed and they're able to pass on that information to other people, and that way we'll have a safer community that we live in. Our reputation as a whole would be better, and just glad to be a part of EACF.
This evening was very educational, great for the community. It was a good get-together. We were reminded of love and peace, and we were, taught about knowledge and what we do with the police department. Very important. Our rights and responsibilities as citizens, and it was a great event. And thank you for hosting it.
I think it was a great turnout. It's the start of something wonderful in the future. I can honestly say that it brought everybody together, people from different professions, different backgrounds. We all have the common goal of succeeding in this country and showing the world we can all work together, we can all live peacefully, and we can do it in a way it goes back to our background, where we always fall back on that foundation of that Middle Eastern culture where we all love each other, and it's just the hospital. It's just it's just beautiful.
That evening was a great evening, and I really want to thank Dr. Hossam Maksoud for that great event. It's very important to the Arab and Muslim community to get together and discuss the issues matter to all of us, especially in that year of the election, when one of the candidates like Donald Trump has suggested that Muslims should be banned from entering the United States. So we should know what's our rights and what we should react in case of emergency, or case of facing the police. So it was a very productive and very great evening, and it was very informative.